I'm going to introduce a bill in the next few days that is a starting place that enjoys fairly significant support among Republican senators, probably not everyone. And at that point, we'll be more specific about how to allocate. But we do envision direct checks.
Well, you just heard it right there. You do envisage direct checks. That's Mitch McConnell speaking on the floor of the Senate yesterday. Now, that was yesterday. Today, Mitch McConnell's been on the floor of the Senate again, and he didn't even mention a new stimulus plan. Senator Mike Braun, Republican from Indiana, is with us. Sir, that strikes me as a sign of a dramatic split within the Republicans about what you want, when you want it, and what form it should take. Do you support more stimulus checks?
So what I support, Stu, would be with all the money we've already spent, and I think it's now up to $26 trillion in total debt. It's an unusual circumstance, but in visiting businesses across Indiana, which I did over the last 2 weeks, some have been left out in the cold. So I'm for addressing any errors and/or omissions, and for those at the very low end of the pay scale that do not have a job, because this thing was working like gangbusters up until March 1st. It was the hottest economy. The Trump economy was working. I've been about trying to get back to it as safely as we can. When it comes to throwing trillions around, I thought hundreds of billions were a lot when I got here. I think there's going to be many of us measuring it to get good value out of it, not just spend more money.
You're not real enthusiastic, are you?
Well, I am to take care of where we caused it in taking that one-size-fits-all, I think, overly prescriptive approach, and it did shut down a great economy. It's coming back great in many places, but it's still going to be a while. And for those that I've got a business in a county south of where I live, an amusement park, a theme park, that didn't get any PPP aid because they've got mostly seasonal employees, kicked them above the level. Hopefully we can take care of folks like them that were doing great and got derailed.
Just so long as you get liability protection. Can you
that as well. That as well.
Guarantee it, please? Can you guarantee it?
I'm afraid that's going to come at an awfully expensive price from Speaker Pelosi, and that could derail the whole process, and I think that'd be sad. It
would indeed. Senator, you're one of 16 lawmakers calling for investigation into how taxpayer money was used to deal with this autonomous zone in Seattle and others like it. If you're investigating this, what are you looking for?
I'm looking for where we give them money, and when you look at what's been happening, the carnage on the streets of our largest cities, mostly run by the same governance over decades. And when these same people are talking about defunding police, autonomous zones, basically crazy talk, why we should be giving them money to support that point of view, I think it's smart that we look into it. And if that behavior continues, we do something about not helping subsidize such bad behavior.
Do you approve of the president sending in federal agents to some of these cities to bring back law and order?
You know, I don't like a federal presence when it comes to local and state government philosophically. I think the president will do what he thinks needs to be done. Tragically, the mayors, the organizations of law enforcement in these places that have been running the scene for decades ought to self-correct, fix it themselves, because that would be something that would be drastic. I'd rather not see it. I'm sure the president will make the right decision.
Okay, I'm sure you saw this overnight. China ordered to close its consulate in Houston, Texas. We're saying America is doing this to protect intellectual property. Can you make the link here? What is it about the Houston consulate that needs to be closed to protect property? Is this anything to do with stealing our virus research?
I heard they were burning a lot of files and papers and stuff like that to boot. That should tell you what might be going on. President Trump has taken China to the woodshed several times, and with their behavior over decades, and especially most recently, of stealing intellectual property, all the bad behavior from devaluing currencies to dumping gluts, thank goodness we got somebody like the president is standing up to them. I think supply chains are changing right before us. I think businesses are getting the cue that maybe they're not such a trustworthy business partner. It's up to them to change their behavior if they want to continue as a global trading partner for anyone.
Seems like it's a new Cold War, different kind of Cold War than with the Soviet
Sadly,
Union, but
yeah.
It's a new Cold War. It's getting tense. Senator, always a pleasure. Thanks for being with us, sir. Appreciate it.
You bet.
Yes, sir. I want to have a look at